is The Psychology of Spirit with AuKeeRa Rayne. You are invited to add your voice to our program by phone or email. Our toll-free number in North America is 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. The email address is AuKeeRa@sasktel.net. That's AuKeera@sasktel.net. Now, back to The Psychology of Spirit.
So why do we feel the way we do? And how do we communicate that to other people? Most of us try and make other people responsible for our emotions. And our society, by the way, also says that that's appropriate. You will find women, as they try and gain their power, try and say, well, I have to tell you how that made me feel. We feel that it empowers us to make other people know how they made us feel. The whole thing is that we are responsible for that emotion. A lot of people talk the way that they talk because they don't think about how it will make somebody else feel. And we have to remember we're adults. We're not little kids in the sandbox standing up saying, you hurt my feelings. But we forget that. Somebody comes along and hurts your feelings, whose responsibility is it? It's mine. It's my responsibility to deal with how I'm feeling. It's not my responsibility to make you aware that you hurt my feelings, because I have to take care of me first. If I feel hurt, I have to ask myself, why did that hurt you? Oh, because it made me feel horrible. What made you feel horrible about what that person said or did? We have to be there for us first to talk it through, to show ourselves how maybe not to feel hurt next time, how maybe it was past experiences that brought that to not be able to just slide off our backs. We are not responsible for the words that fly out of other people's mouths, but we are responsible for our reactions and how we feel. I personally prefer to act like an adult, and I know all of you are the same way. But our society says adult behavior can get pretty childish sometimes. When we communicate our emotions, it has to be with I statements. And the funniest part of that is a lot of times I statements still turn into blame statements. True I statements are simply saying, I feel this way. They're not adding in, because you did this. I am lonely. I am scared. I'm feeling that I'm losing you. I miss you. A lot of times, spouses who argue, it's really because you guys are missing each other. And you would like nothing more than to just have each other's arms around you. It may be a funny statement, but if you sit back and actually look at that, you love the person you're with. You love and adore them. If they're not around, we start to miss each other. So when we're talking about our emotions, you must simply say, this is the way I'm feeling. But you must make sure that you've taken a step back first. When we are communicating, make sure you are going to say what you mean and mean what you say. It's very important that we are able to tell the other person with clear certainty that they are not responsible for our feelings. But this is how we know we're feeling. And if we figured out why we're feeling that way and we'd like to share it without blame, you are more than welcome. Also, when we're talking about our feelings, we can also be solution-oriented. For example, I've noticed when I don't hear from you, I feel very, very upset. And I know it is my issue, and I'm not blaming you in any way, shape, or form. But I have found, and you're more than welcome to say no, that if you would be able to text me after you're done lunch just to let me know you're fine, no matter how silly that sounds to you, it would make a world of difference to me. Now, asking for what we need in that manner allows the person to say no. It also does not make them responsible, and it keeps the responsibility on us. Now, if they say, no, I'm not going to have time, you have to revisit your own drawing board to see what would work for you, and you're going to have to speak to yourself about those particular insecurities. How about when you're having a bad day? Think about when we have bad days. For some reason, we think that everybody else needs to cater to us. When the truth of the matter is, if you listen to the other shows, bad day is a matter of perception. So if we are now going to have everybody else responsible for our bad day and catering to us, how do you know they're not having a bad day too? And remember, if all things are relative, then technically everybody could be having a bad day. So, if you're having a bad day, remember you are responsible for the way you treat other people still. And this is where the words I'm sorry might come in quite handy. The beautiful thing about the fact that every second of your life is a new beginning, and each moment is the only moment you're in, and that there is no mistakes, is as soon as something flies out of your mouth that you did not mean, the words I'm sorry can follow. We can stop ourselves in the middle of a sentence and not finish it. We can say a sentence and immediately say, I am sorry, that was not appropriate. We don't have to continue a fight when we don't want to, and we don't have to start a fight when we don't want to, and we don't have to say something that we really didn't mean to say. We do have the ability to change direction immediately because we are that smart. We actually are able to communicate. We often don't give ourselves credit for that fact because we're just not used to even trying to communicate on the level that we're capable of. Yes, you can say what you mean and mean what you say, but you have to figure out what that is for you. You have to realize that you're the one living your life. You have to realize that you have to ask for help when you need it. Learn to say no to other people. And then serve you and say things that you actually mean. The gift of the gab is quite an interesting thing. And a lot of times when we're communicating, it really should just be visiting. When we have time with our children or our spouses or our friends, really it should be chit-chat, light talk. If we're always talking about something heavy, life tends to be heavy or big. Visiting is an art. And yes, it will have the most laughter involved in it. When we decide we need to tell other people something so that they can get it, when we decide that we have something so important to say, we put a lot of responsibility on ourselves. Unsolicited advice is never appreciated. Oh, but it would make their lives so happy if they knew this information. Treat them like they're already happy now. Why do we need to be the ones to tell them what to do? If they're happy living the life they have, why do they need our input? They don't. And a lot of us run around trying to tell people how to improve their lives when we're not feeling so great ourselves to begin with. It goes back to the statement of look at your own backyard first. You would never like somebody else telling you what to do or telling you that your life isn't quite good enough. You would take offense to that. So no matter how good intentioned your words may be to another, if they weren't asked for, they're still unsolicited advice. Again, something different than our society teaches. Our society tells us, well, we're supposed to go tell everybody how to live and tell them how to make their lives better. We have to tell them that their life is not good enough. Why would we go and disempower the world when I can walk up to you and say, you know what? Your life is absolutely perfect. And even though you might be having a bad day, I know you can handle it. Wouldn't you rather have somebody say that to you? Wouldn't you rather exude that emotion to everybody else? Of course you would. Why? Because it feels good. So communication comes back to a few simple things. But it all still starts with you. And also the way that we communicate with different people will be differently as well. One thing I find with females, with women, is we have trouble separating business from personal. Business way of communication is also very interesting. And one thing that I must tell you is business conversations always must be solution-oriented. If you are going to pose a problem to a manager or a boss, don't leave it open-ended. You may not have all the information, nor may you be able to enact a solution. But please say, in my opinion, these things might help. When people walk around just complaining, have you heard the saying, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem? It goes for communication as well. So when you're talking to a boss, say, I'm having this problem and this problem. I've thought about it, and I think this and this could work as a solution for me. Would that work for you? That way you're also being proactive in your own life as well. You're also taking responsibility for the emotions that you had, and you're allowing it to say in a business-as-business atmosphere. A lot of business is very cutthroat, and it is not meant to be personal. Like you watch any court proceeding whatsoever, and it seems very vicious, but it's not meant as a personal attack on the other person. What I find interesting is our politicians communicate horribly, and they're one of our prime examples of how to communicate. They do act like they're in the sandbox. They are calling each other names. I'm sorry. There is a much better way to present yourself to this world and your country than mudslinging. We are not 2 years old, people. We have the ability to say what we mean and mean what we say. Your public is not stupid. Your public is well aware of the problems in our world today. People think that we're sitting there with our heads buried in the sand. We're not. No matter how far you like to not look at the problems in the world, they're definitely there. But you must remember, they are what they are, and if you take the view of they're perfect, whole, and complete, and it is what it needs to be right now, and come from a solution-oriented manner of how to make it bigger, not necessarily better, you will find your answers. We'll talk more about communication in just a second.
Listening on a higher dimension. Seventh Wave Network.